In this episode of the Rethink Sales Show, Jim and Jed are going to talk through problems that come up and why you should not walk past your problems. If you're in any form of leadership, whether you're leading your family, friends, whether you're leading a business, whether you're leading sales, whether you're interacting with customers, so much of that is people facing. Whether you're leading yourself, which you are, then you need to hear this advice of why you should not walk past the problem every single time. Stay tuned. I think you're going to enjoy it.
How you can be the greatest salesperson on the planet.
Welcome to the Rethink Sales Show. My name is Derek Kelly. I'm joined by Jim Shorkey and Jed Regal, the sales manager at Jim Shorkey Toyota in Greensburg. Jed, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
This is his second episode with us. Jed, we were talking off camera about something so profound that you brought up and Jim brought up, the importance of not walking past a problem. Whether that problem is there's trash on the floor, somebody left something, I need to go return it, right? Whether that problem is someone's not dealing with the customer the right way, whether that problem is something in yourself. Jim, why should we not walk past the problem?
Because depending on the problem, it could kill you. And I have a really massive chill on my body right now. I'm going to try to get through this without crying, but it's really critical. So we were talking about, of all things, we're in the car business. Jed and I were talking about abdominal aortic aneurysms. Now, this is a serious matter. And for those of you, and this is not medical advice, so please, no medical advice here today. This is just personal advice, Jed and I. For those of you who have the idea, what you don't know, what won't hurt you, it's not true. It's total nonsense. And so what an aneurysm is, we have a tube, and there's a bubble in that tube, like a water hose. You've seen these things, right? It's in your body. I had an abdominal aortic aneurysm, and they measure it by centimeters. I believe the number where they do the surgery to repair this aneurysm is 5 centimeters. And I believe when they discovered this, I was like at a 5. I was in the hospital for another reason, and they couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. They said, Jim, we can't figure out what's wrong with you, but we did discover one thing. You have an abdominal aneurysm. It came up on the scan, and they said, here's how it works. If you're at 3 centimeters, 3.5, 4, 4.5, we don't do anything. We measure, we check it. We're on top of it. Once it hits 5, and again, I could be wrong, it could be 6, but it doesn't matter. Once it hits a certain benchmark, that's when we do the surgery. I was beyond that. If it's 5, I was 5.1 or something like that. I remember the doctors, and he's very serious. I said to him, I guess I'm not, at that point, I had run every day for 4,000 days in a row without missing a day. Am I right?
Yeah.
Every day.
That's crazy.
And I'm in the hospital. I had a fainting spell. That's why I'm in the hospital. And so I was fine. I called my wife, Amy, and I said, Amy, I'm fine. I'm telling you, I'm fine. I said, could you, when you come back up, bring my running stuff. I'm going to run. I got to run. 10 years in a row. I got to run. So she did. She brought my shoes and my shorts and what I wear to run. It's to the side of the bed. I'm in bed, and the doctor comes in and lays this news on me. And I said to him, I guess I'm not going to be able to run today. He said, Jim, you're not leaving this bed. You could die. If you're out there running and this thing bursts, you're going to die. What? I was walking around with this thing. So for those of you, and Jed was talking about a person, we'll leave them out of it.
Sure.
But they're not really taking this seriously. And I said, Jed, this is a serious matter. You need to be on top of this. So that person is walking past the problem. And as a leader, you can't do that. It's not good leadership. Your job as a leader is to pick the garbage up, put it in the garbage can, show people that you're serious. Turn the water off in the bathroom. Make sure that the bathrooms are clean. And if they're not, get the cleaner person in there. Make sure the refrigerator door is closed in the lunchroom, et cetera. These are little micro problems that by you showing people that you aren't going to walk past a problem, you're also showing them that you care. This all ties together. So the idea, this book I read, 4-Star Leadership, by Tom Collins, talks about the good ones. These are 4-star generals and admirals, male, female. These are really high-powered leaders. And one of their common threads was they don't walk past a problem. And so that's what we were talking about. And it kind of led into the aneurysm thing, because here's a guy he could die because the aneurysm is down and your heart is a pump. That's all it is. It's a really sophisticated pump. It's pumping blood 24/7. Hopefully, right? If it stops pumping blood, what does that mean, Jed? Please, short explanation.
You're dead.
You're dead.
Thanks, Jed.
I don't like that idea, right? So I want this guy, please, I'm going to praise this guy, this girl today and say, thank you. Thank you for doing a great job, man. You're pumping blood up to here, down, all over the place. So if this thing stops pumping, I'm in big trouble. So it doesn't stop. So what happens, Jed, your story now? The thing bursts. What happens?
You're dead.
Not necessarily, but what does happen?
You have not a very long time to have some help.
Tell me what happens when the thing bursts so that I can understand it. I'm just a dumb old car salesman. So I have an aneurysm in my belly that I didn't take seriously. It bursts. What happens?
You bleed out internally.
Thank you. Does your heart keep pumping?
It does not.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, it does. Yeah.
That's why you bleed out.
Yeah.
So you got
Keeps
this
pumping,
pump. It's
got
doing
nowhere
its
to
job.
go.
There's a hole down here, basically. It just keeps pumping. And you fill up with blood in your abdomen. And you've got a very limited amount of time. I think maybe 5 minutes.
If
You're dead. You're done.
My situation, I had an aortic aneurysm, a
What's
little closer to home. However, you're talking seconds, maybe minutes. You're lucky.
So I have, and this is probably a genetic thing with me, but I have an aneurysm in my aorta. I believe it's the ascending aorta. It's somewhere right near the heart, and I'm getting checked. I get an echo. Familiar?
Yep, very familiar.
Echo, familiar?
Mine was found at birth, like literally.
Yeah.
So that I've been monitored my entire life. I had open heart surgery to fix that problem.
Should we walk past that problem?
Definitely not. I was lucky to have that happen at birth for it to be discovered.
Bad idea.
And
to walk past it.
To walk past it would have been a terrible idea. As you said, there are people walking around with this right now. We're having this conversation.
Don't know they have
no
it.
idea.
Will hurt you.
Absolutely.
I literally just had my echo done, my yearly echo, and I'm like stable, good. It's not medical advice, folks. You got to do your own thing, but I'm good. Okay. What am I going to have done?
Surgery.
The abdomen, I did the surgery. I'm cut from here to here. Boom. Big surgery. So that's fixed. But I do have these other, I think I have 2. And they're checking them. And you're good. You're stable. I talked to the nurse practitioner. I got notes from my cardiologist, who I love dearly, Dr. Paul Kleiss. I love this man. I'm so grateful for my doctors. So grateful. Anyways, so I'm doing good. But when we talk about walking past a problem, we're talking about a very serious leadership issue. And so you might say, what does that have to do with leadership? I got to lead me. And if I don't lead me in a proper manner, well, then I can't lead Jed because I'm dead.
Yep.
That doesn't appeal to me, guys and ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't. So I got to be responsible to lead this thing here, which is highly complicated. 40 trillion cells. In order to be a great leader, I first have to lead this thing, 40 trillion cells. I'm working diligently on that. As a leader, if I walk past a problem, I'm showing my lead that I don't care. This is a fundamental of leadership that the 4-star generals and admirals, male, female, he interviewed 51 of them, this came up every single time. Never walk past a problem. And in this case, we're being a little simplistic with the garbage on the floor, but there's other problems. A team member who is not doing what we want them to do, or a customer service issue, which we're messing up on, or whatever the case may be. The first thing we want to do when we have a customer complaint is call the customer. That's it. Don't wait. If you don't call the customer right away, you're walking past the problem. When we have a problem with a team member, sit him down, get what's going on, man? Geez, you seem troubled today. What's happening? What? And we start to work on it. We're showing people that we care. That is a fundamental C of the 4 stars of leadership, caring about our people, whether it be the clients or the team. The biggest reason that people leave a business is they don't feel appreciated. If they don't feel appreciated, Jed, whose fault is that?
It's the leader.
The leader.
Yeah.
Thank you. So you're the best car salesman on the planet, and you have the greatest sense of character. So I got 2 of the C's. And so you're competent, you've got great character, but you don't give a crap about your people. You are going to fail. You're going to fail. It's just that consistency, I think, is one of them. You're going to fail. You're going to fail. So if you miss one of these, there's 5 of them, and they're in the book, the 4 stars of leadership. So you can go look this up yourself. I'm sure if you Googled this right now, AI would say, in the book, the 4 stars of leadership, what are the 5 C's? And I just don't have them all. I believe it's competence, caring, character. I think consistency might be one of them, but I'm not positive. I don't have my book with me. The point I'm trying to make is that we have a problem. When we walk past the problem, we're showing people that we don't care. The number one reason they leave your place of employment is because you don't care about them. So we really need to think about that.
I might point out, too, that the caring part has to be genuine.
Oh,
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people in business and industries, and they're actors.
How could you care for somebody and not be authentic? Answer the question, please. There's only one answer. How can you care for somebody?
You can't.
Thank you. Therefore, you're saying care, unless it's not authentic, unless it's an act. We just talked about somebody. It was an act. He didn't really care. Do you hear what I just said? Say we need to do.
It's not real.
It's not caring.
Caring.
So therefore, you don't care. It's the same thing. In other words, if you're full of crap, it's almost like we talked about that character. No lying, no cheating, no stealing. If we're inauthentic in our caring, aren't we lying?
Yeah.
Aren't we cheating? Yeah, we really are. If it's inauthentic, then it's really not caring. It's not. That you don't care, but you put on this act like you do care. No, you don't care. That's the point. It has to be caring. There is no inauthentic part of it. It just doesn't exist. If you are going to play that game, then you don't care.
Right.
So therefore, it's not caring. I care. I love you, man. You know I love you. Do you feel like I love you?
100%.
Is there any doubt in your mind?
0.
No.
Do you feel like I love you?
Yes, absolutely.
Can you, this girl, she wants to hug me before she leaves.
Yeah.
Why?
She waits. She knows you
She
care.
knows I care. Marshall, do you think I care?
Yes.
I care deeply. And it's not an act. I love people.
Sure did.
I had to start. I had to show up. So I had a number of problems, and I did walk past those problems. I did. And so once I figured out to stop walking past the problems, it got a lot better. Now, was I 10 out of 10 on handling every problem? No, I wasn't. I made a lot of mistakes. We talked about people, and you got a problem with a person, and the biggest harm we can do to the whole scenario of the person and the team and the business and the customers is to keep them. That's a big problem. Because number one, they're gonna mess up our team. Team morale drops, the results drop. If that happens, team morale drops, the results get worse. We don't sell as many cars. The second thing that happens is by keeping that person, we're not getting a person to replace this person. And the person that we replace this person with could be the next rock star. And unless you have a crystal ball and you can read into it and say, oh, I got her, she's over here, or nah, she's no good. We'll keep this idiot who's messing us up because we already know from our crystal ball that one's no good, so we're not going to do that one. No, you got to get rid of the idiot. They're messing you up. They're messing up your team. Get rid of them. And you might be amazed how maybe even within your own organization, somebody says, you know what? I'm interested. And maybe that's the next rock star too. That can happen too.
Yep.
By keeping this person, they're messing you up and the results are suffering, you're walking past the problem.
I would ask you another question.
Sure.
And I know the answer, but we're talking about people walking past the problem. And everything that you just said and things that you have done, could you have done it all yourself? Absolutely. I think there's a lot of people that try. I'll raise my hand first because I've been guilty of that.
No.
Try to do it all yourself. It's exhausting. You have to have a support team around you of people
question.
that you can count on.
No question.
You have to have a team of people that are focused on a common goal
Absolutely.
in order to move things forward.
Yep. And the leadership position is to move the team from where we are now to where we want to get to, which is the goal. If we don't have a goal, we don't need leadership. We don't need leadership to not move ahead. And sometimes we have leadership that's moving us backwards. That's no good. Without a clearly defined goal, we don't need leadership, and we don't have any reason for leadership, because the leader's job is to move the team collectively and individually towards the goal. So Jed and I have talked about this for years. I understand it. I've read Think and Grow Rich 163 times, and that's a book about goals.
Yeah.
And I understand it very well. And I did it 163 times. Jed comes to me and says, "You want to talk about goals?" I think I'm pretty well versed in that. What do you think?
100%.
Yeah. And
That's where.
he and I got into a conversation about goals. And I said, "Okay, great. That's a great goal now." I just remembered it. He told me that he wanted to get his own store. I said, "Okay, that's a great goal. Very specific, very clear, very defined. Why?" He told me why. So I said, "What?" And I went through, I'm going to let him finish it because it's a great story. Just go ahead.
Got me. Yeah. He asked why enough times to annoy me, but he was digging and trying to get the truth out of me is what it was. And it worked. And the answer was my wife. My answer. My wife and her son.
Massive chill.
Yep.
But here we go. Does your reason why make you cry? Because if you don't have the reason why that makes you cry, you're going to cave into the pressures of the idiot we referred to earlier. We're going to cave in. But when the reason why that makes us cry is right in front of our face, Natasha, and I believe your son now.
Jacob.
We're
married. Stepson.
Stepson. And when it pops in front of your face, you know what? I got to do the hard deed today. Because the mission is way bigger than I am. And who's the mission?
The family.
The family. That's way more important. That's really important to me. It makes me cry, makes me emotional. So I got to do the push-ups today. You can't pay somebody else to do your push-ups. We always talk about that. It sounds like a joke, but it's not. It really does apply to life. There's things you have to do in life to get to where you want to get to, and you're the one that's got to do them. And then you got to bring your team in to do the things that you need to have done to get you to your goal. And you're the one that's got to bring the team in and motivate the team. But if you don't have a goal, you don't need a team. If you don't have a goal, you don't need a leader. Am I right?
That's right. And I think actually I was shared this from Matt. He said, if you're not working your own goal, you're working someone else's. People need to think about that because it's true. If you're not working your own goal, you're working your superior or your boss, or maybe it's your spouse or a friend. But if you don't have a goal, you are working towards someone else's goal.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Done deal.
Thank you, Jim. We'll see you.
Thank you.